I spent all of 2025 working on one Roblox game. Now, I know you're probably thinking,
this guy is totally insane.
But let me explain. Okay, step one of any game is the idea, deciding what you're going to make. And this started back in December 2024. I was talking to Sin. He's my programmer, COO, just the guy that makes the magic happen. And we kept coming back to the same problem. A lot of anime games on Roblox feel identical. They're either tower defenses or bandit beaters, and the genre just doesn't really innovate. Then, on the 22nd of December at midnight, Sin sent me a message saying anime PvP game. The idea was simple, a game where you can duel as anime characters. But there was one problem. If we did it better, it was still basically a Battlegrounds game. And Battleground games are fun, but there are way too many to compete, yet something always felt off. I kept thinking I wish that I could play this in first person. And that's when I figured, why not just do exactly that? What if we made an anime FPS? Now, this didn't exist on Roblox, and FPS games are ridiculously popular for a reason. Aiming feels good, and the first person just makes the fights feel more real. So I immediately messaged Sin, and his first reaction was... But after a few weeks of talking to more people, we all agreed that this could really be something new. So we committed. This is where I'm going to introduce you to X and Key. They're two of the best people that I know for UI and building, and they're also actual anime experts, which is important because I am not. But from January to April, we were laying the foundation, planning the game loop, starting the work on the UI, and just thinking about how this anime FPS game would even work. He designed the first character, gun models, and a base map which is just for testing. In May, the agenda started clearing up and everyone starts having more time available. He just flew through this month. He not only finished the first character and its weapon, but he finished 2 more. Meanwhile, Sin had already been doing all the invisible work. Backend systems, logic, stuff that makes the cool features that you'll see possible. And this is what the game looked like, but this is just the start. He programmed some of the UI, and at the same time, I had commissioned some animations for our first weapons. And we were actually able to add them to the game, as well as making opponents flash red when you hit them. We also made a very big design choice. When you're in the match, we wanted everyone to play as the character that they had equipped, and not as their Roblox avatar. So we also got this system done just before June started. This was a good but short month. We got some help from Vayu, who coded the party UI so that you can actually matchmake with friends. Sin also made the animations for other players because the first and third person animations are basically entirely separate things. We had a really unconventional side quest where we worked on this sort of Smurfs project. But at the end of the month, we all got back to the game, working on the first version of the beam and this pretty awkward first phase test. And before you knew it, it was July. Key just kept delivering. 2 more characters, more weapons, we were getting closer to getting that full roster together. Vayu also shipped a super clean custom character system, where your character's body will kind of follow your camera's direction. We added better impact effects when bullets hit surfaces, and X worked on an update log UI. And the build kind of started to look a little bit presentable. You can select your characters, and I mean, at least the core of the game works. New month, new character by Key, and a new phase test. If you're watching this and think, why is this all taking so long? Well, you're not wrong, but a lot of the work that we do now is invisible. Just imagine those crazy hacker scenes. That's literally what Sin is doing every day. Just building the system on top of which he can make the game look nice. But in August, we still finished the aiming, some healing, and its VFX. Some good progress on new weapons and these lines that we're going to be using when you sprint. September started really good with me flying on this massive plane to San Francisco for RDC. I had some great food, met up with Sin, and saw a bunch of other developers and of course their cars. It was honestly a huge motivation boost, but we did not have much dev time this month because of it. Most of the focus went to weapon variety. So making this bow with deflecting arrows, triple knife throwing, this axe with a cool freeze effect, and even sliding. Now, what does make this month special is that we had our first developer test session, and you can actually kind of start seeing the game come together. It's obviously still super raw and unpolished, and not all weapons of all characters actually work. In October, everything really starts speeding up, with Keyboard finishing the first version of the lobby. Up until now, you've seen us mainly work on weapons, but October was also about the systems that make the game feel more complete. We added passives, which are these sort of small perks that can boost your character. I sketched out a rough layout for what the UI should look like, and while X got started on that, Sin kept working on gameplay, such as this ragdoll effect when someone dies, just to add a little bit more of that power feel. Obviously, a bunch of new primary and secondary weapons, such as this neon arrow that automatically locks onto new players, and also ultimates. For one of our characters, we wanted his ultimate to be an ability to spawn little plant turrets. Initially, it looked something like this with these green boxes as placeholders. Key modeled the plant, we then got it animated, and then upon implementation, it kind of looks like this, and we even got to stress test it with 100 plants. Obviously, this is way too OP, so we added a max cap of 3 plants. Finally, the passive UI got finished and Sin started coding it. You can select any character and roll for whichever passive you want. We polished a bit with this clean pop-up when you get a rare passive, and a skip feature for everyone without patience. To finish off October, Sin worked on the mobile controls and gameplay. In November, Keyboard finished not 1, but 2 full maps. But here is the harsh truth of game development. Even when you plan everything, it won't ever go according to plan. Because even though Key did a really good job on the first lobby, Sin and I just didn't like it. So on a random midnight call, we made the decision to scrap it and build a new lobby. It sucks, but if you want the game to be better, you have to accept that sometimes you just have to throw away something good to reach great, I suppose. November had a lot of polishing work like every month, including weapon VFX upgrades, new ultimates such as this bow that shoots through walls, and my personal favorite, which is this cloud that shoots neon rain. Finally, Sin also made the backend cutscene system. Now, I make it look really simple in this video, but in reality, these are the kind of months where we're commissioning a ton of different people, testing a million sound effects, scrapping it and redoing just everything. I just don't want to show all of that because it is really boring stuff. In December, Keyboard finished another map and the new lobby started coming together. This version was smaller, but that's the point. Players are closer together, all the important NPCs and shops are tighter and faster to access. It just fits our game better. We kept getting new assets made, especially cutscene animations, and then we started working on one of the most important systems, which are the bots. If there are not enough players in the game, we still want players to be able to train themselves. Then having some bots is a really good way of making that practice happen. Making bots is easy, but making good bots is super difficult, so this took us almost the rest of December. We also managed to integrate the maps now, so the gameplay is starting to look a little bit more beautiful. New month, the bots were finally polished and working. They honestly look incredible, and as you can tell from this gameplay, we also managed to add in the spectating feature, which is obviously a must-have for any FPS game. Even if they're not implemented, the defeat and victory visuals were made, and most of the remaining time of this month went towards cutscenes. Our cutscene pipeline is basically commissioning, animating the cutscene, implementing it in-game, adding the VFX, and then finishing it with sound design and music. It's super time consuming, but we are trying to have a unique song for each character's ultimate. To finish it off, we hosted our first public test session. We got over 150 players to show up, find bugs, and give feedback. And that is where this video ends. Almost a year of development summarized in a few minutes. If you want to help us out, we're always looking for people to come and test our game. So join our Discord, which will be linked in the description. And tell me what you want next. Do you want more videos like this? Maybe a more detailed monthly devlog? Because we have a bunch of stuff that we did in the last 3 weeks that are not in this video, so it might be worth making a sort of monthly devlog. I don't know. Just do let me know in the comments whether that's something you'd want to see, and hopefully this was interesting enough, and I'll see you in the next video.